A game-changing move could be on the horizon for the Phoenix Suns as the team looks to be targeting Marcus Morris Sr. The 3-and-D 6'10 big man could be coming to Phoenix and bringing his services, adding to the rotation and filling a need for the Suns. We are going to break it all down for you guys right here on Suns Digest. My name is CJ Pierre. Thanks for joining us. NBA free agency is off and running, and it looks like the Suns are going to be making even more moves. We are going to break down the possibility of Marcus Morris joining the Phoenix Suns just a little bit. But before we get into that, we noticed that 79% of you guys are watching our videos. That's great, and we appreciate that. But you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Now, we have reached our original goal of 1,000 subscribers, but we're going to kick it up a notch. We appreciate all the love you guys are giving us. So let's keep it going. Let's get to 2,000 subs. That would be great for the channel. We would appreciate all the love. So hit that subscribe button if you want to make sure you're keeping up to date with all the latest Suns news, rumors, and free agency speculation. We're going to have it all right here for you guys on Suns Digest. Now, let's get into this right now. As it appears, the Suns are among the favorites to land Marcus Morris Sr. Now, Marcus Morris Sr. is a long-time NBA veteran. He has been somewhat of a journeyman over the course of his career, bounced around and been serviceable in many, many stops. He had a significant stop with the Los Angeles Clippers. He was most recently has spent time with the Philadelphia 76ers and the Cleveland Cavaliers. But it appears that the Phoenix Suns, now as he is in a free agency position, the Phoenix Suns might be looking to add a player like Marcus Morris Sr. Let's take a look at this tweet from Morris Muse, one of the Stat Muse Twitter accounts that follows Marcus Morris specifically, or the Morris twins specifically, and saying that the Philadelphia 76ers are the favorites to win the Marcus Morris Sr. sweepstakes per Bavaria official, the sports betting website listing odds of the teams. But as we take a closer look at those odds, you'll notice that the Phoenix Suns make the list. They are the 8th team with the 8th best odds on this list. Philadelphia 76ers held the top spot, followed by the Boston Celtics, Golden State Warriors, Lakers, Cavs, Mavericks, and Miami Heat. And then there are the Phoenix Suns as a potential destination for Marcus Morris Sr. Now, we know the kind of player that Marcus Morris is. He's as a defensive efficient guy. He's solid on the defensive end. He's got some size to him, can rebound, and he is a solid three-point shooter. If we take a look at his stats last season, averaging about 6.4 points per game, again in limited minutes, on 2.7 rebounds per game. But again, the thing that he does best is his shooting and his ability to shoot and stretch the floor as a relative big man around that 6'8", 6'10 range for those stretch fours, averaging 40% on his three-point shots, including 42% on corner threes, which would be a big addition in an offense being run by head coach Mike Budenholzer. Marcus Morris Jr. or Sr. fits a need for the Suns on some level. Right now, the Suns don't really have a lot of offensive firepower on their bench, and I think that he could fill a solid role. So let's discuss exactly where Morris would fit in on this Suns roster. So we know that we've got the big three: Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker. You know that they've got Grayson Allen. They re-signed him. If they were going to try and move off him, they wouldn't be able to do it until the trade deadline. Yusuf Nurkic, we reported that. Me and Bruce broke down a video about the report that Yusuf Nurkic is expected to be back. So there's your projected starting lineup. Then when you get into the bench, that's where things get a little hazy. That's where things kind of, you try and determine exactly what the Suns are looking for and kind of what they want to do. As we take a look at the current active roster based on the guys who are currently signed under contracts, or at least expected to sign very soon. You have Durant, Beal, Booker, Nurkic, Allen, like I mentioned. Royce O'Neal is expected to re-sign a long-term extension. Obviously, Nasir Little's still there. Bol is expected to sign a one-year deal. And then there's David Roddy. The news broke the first day of free agency about Mason Plumlee joining the team on a veterans minimum deal. And then you have Colin Gillespie, who is going to sign a two-way deal with the Phoenix Suns. Not listed in there is Ryan Dunn, the first-round draft pick of the Phoenix Suns. He is also going to probably sign a deal that will put him on the roster. That will put you at 12. And then there's also Josh Okogie and Damian Lee, who are potential guys that could sign with the Suns on veteran minimum deals, re-sign with the team on maybe a little bit higher than veteran minimum 1 year deals as well. That would put you at 14 guys that would be listed on the roster. So the Suns still have some moves to make. Now, when you look at that roster and the guys, particularly that could be coming off the bench, Mason Plumlee looks to be a lock to be the starting center that comes off the bench. If the Suns are still in need of a point guard, maybe a more facilitating role. We talked about guys like Kyle Lowry. We've talked about guys like Monte Morris. Chris Dunn is going to signing with the LA Clippers, so he's off the table. There's still a move to be made in that department, so you probably have a spot there. Royce O'Neal is probably going to need some rotational minutes, and then Ryan Dunn, the rookie, is probably expected to work his way in. Now, but none of those guys are necessarily going to be the offensive firepower that you need, or no one's expected to be. Royce O'Neal's not really a scorer. Mason Plumlee's not a scorer. Ryan Dunn, he's more of a solid defender. He would need to develop an offensive game. You need someone who could be a reliable offensive player, and Marcus Morris Sr. can provide that. Just simply when you look at what his ability is, coming from three-point range. And Suns fans probably wouldn't mind having Marcus Morris here originally, or not originally, but he spent his time some time with the Phoenix Suns with his twin brother Markieff Morris. And we remember those days, just seeing the Morris twins dominate on the court together as Suns fans. It was a fun time, and it's definitely something that Marcus Morris, knowing the game that he still has, that could still have an impact on this team, being an offensive punch off the bench, and also being able to possibly fit in and play with some of the starters. Play some minutes with Booker, play some minutes with Durant and Beal, and be someone who can spot up from the corner and capitalize on his ability to shoot the 42% from those corner threes, and he'll have tons of open looks in Mike Budenholzer's offense with those kind of guys on the court. So Marcus Morris could be a significant addition. But like I mentioned, there are still other pieces that the Suns will need to add. Like I said, talked about a point guard. That need for that offensive firepower. If Marcus Morris is not the guy that they go with, there are still some free agent options that could be available. And there's one that I would like to highlight in this video just just for funsies, okay? We're just gonna do some speculation. There's no like real reporting out there in terms of the Suns' interest because this particular player may demand more money than the Suns can provide. But I just want to live in a world where there's guys who are willing to take less to put themselves in situations where they could win. And I want to talk about Spencer Dinwiddie. Now, Dinwiddie most recently played with the Los Angeles Lakers, and he is one of those guys that can be a microwave scorer. Suns fans will remember him because he was on the Dallas Mavericks team that came into Phoenix and destroyed them in that Game 7 a few years ago, and Suns fans are still holding on to that. But Dinwiddie had a monster game in that Game 7, and he is one of those guys who is a pure scorer, a bucket getter, has the ability to facilitate as well as a point guard in some ways, and I think he could fit perfectly on the Suns. The only thing is that he's probably going to demand more than the veterans minimum, so other teams are going to be able to offer him more, kind of similar to the situation that the Suns ran into when they were trying to get Chris Dunn. But let's take a look at Spencer Dinwiddie here. Averaged 10 points per game last season, shooting 33.7% from three-point range, but he shot 51% on corner threes. He's got 6'5", so he's got some size to him as well. He's more of that combo guard, but with his ability to facilitate, he could actually provide a solid punch if he was to be coming off the bench for the Phoenix Suns. I actually think he could probably find himself some starting minutes with the Suns if he were to come on a veteran minimum deal to put himself in a situation where he could win a championship. There are a lot of different teams that are going to be looking for Dinwiddie services. There are rumors that he could re-sign with the Lakers, depending on what the Lakers do and how much money LeBron takes in terms of less. I know the Lakers are pursuing DeMar DeRozan, and that may, if they end up getting DeRozan and then signing LeBron, that may leave the door open for Dinwiddie to want to go elsewhere. Then the Suns could get in the mix in that department. This is not reporting. This is all speculation. Just putting that out there, but I think it is an interesting look when you look at the free agents that are still available and seeing Dinwiddie's name on the list. It just kind of perked my eyes and perked my attention. So I wanted to know what you guys think. What do you guys think of the potential of the Suns looking at guys like Marcus Morris Sr. and Spencer Dinwiddie? Let us know in the comments below. Of course, NBA free agency is off and running. It's wild. It's crazy. We want to see what the Suns are going to do and exactly how this roster is going to shape up. There's only a few moves left that they are probably going to make before they start to form exactly the kind of team that they're going to want moving into the 2024-2025 season. We are the place to be, so we can break it all down for you guys. So if you want to make sure you're not missing a single bit of the Suns news that comes over the course of this offseason, hit that subscribe button below and you won't miss a thing that we're going to have cooking up for you guys. That's all the time I got for you guys today. If there's any more breaking news, we will have it for you guys. But until then, I'll see you next time and go Phoenix Suns.